So next, I'll quickly introduce our wonderful guest expert with us today. This is Elder Dorothy Taylor from Curve Lake First Nation, a bit north of Peterborough. Dorothy is a Mississauga Ojibwe Anishinaabe and is recognized as a traditional knowledge holder and elder. She resides in Curve Lake community. Her husband, Mark. Dorothy is a storyteller and hand drummer. She's known locally and beyond as an environmental activist. She's the founder of the Sacred Water Circle, a multi-faith collective of community volunteers with the vision of restoring humanity's sacred relationship with water. She's a founding member of Inwendamin Oki,
Very good.
addressing how we are related to the land, which brings together students, alumni, and community members, promoting land and water at Trent University. Dorothy frequently conducts ceremonies and shares the culture in schools. Children and youth are her inspiration. She lives in the light with gratitude and most importantly, love. So thank you, Dorothy. So just I'll say this is one of our first webinars where Dorothy doesn't have a PowerPoint presentation slides or anything. She's just going to be sharing a story with us. So I will stop sharing here and let her take over.
Very good. Thank you so much for the invitation and the opportunity to speak about the importance and the sacredness of water. I'm going to introduce myself in the language of the Mississauga Ojibwe. Nahalbasho Nindandagnak Nimki Kapadashi Quandish Nakazwa Bagagdodam Ashki Kamang Donjaba Gitchanandam Sanongam Gibishayeg. So I just told you what my native name is. I'm the White Porcupine Clan. The traditional name of Curve Lake is Ashkikaman, and I just said I was glad to be here today. So I wanted to talk to you about this, the very first part of our creation story, and it has everything to do with water. And our catchphrase as Indigenous people is that water is life. Water is life. Nothing exists, nothing can grow, nothing can be sustained without water. So to us, water is first. Water is the first gift that was given to us by the Creator in terms of providing our ability to live in a good way here on this planet we call Mother Earth. We call her Mother. So I usually like to start with an opening song and a brief prayer of thanksgiving, asking the Creator and those ancestors that walk beside me, and to guide my voice in the story and that which I'll be sharing with you today. And I'm going to use my rattle. It's a deer hoof rattle, and I'm going to sing a song first and then say the Thanksgiving prayer. Yahweh, hey, hi, way, hey, oh, hey, hi, way, oh, hey, oh, hey, hi, way, oh, hey, hi, way, hey, way, hi, hey, yeah, hey, oh, way, hey, hi, way, hey, way, hi. Way hey oh hey hi, way oh hey oh hey hi, way oh hey hi, way hey way hi hey yeah hey oh. The hapa shoka shamanado, them keep up and as she quendish na cause of a god do them. Chimigwach nagishagat gudjing sanongum gudjing Chimigwach Nikishagat Ginsigausha Tuyan Gamision Minipamazion na Sewin Chimigwach Skakamikwe Kasag and Gin Sakosha Tuyan Gamishan Minuaga Skikina Sewin Chimigwach Chitwanabe the Namata Mensa in the be Shanat Toyan in the be we do Quishnan Jigin Wendaman in the be Panak Amnagme Chimigwach no kmisak mishomsak kinawa matbiak o de wabanang o de jaunang o de nababanang o de giwadnan get a jimininem ganad mayak minawa gab kishemnado em kwash gadad yang mas anongam zoom shin kadad chimigwach hajua minishna shemnado hajua minishna migwach minawa gab minapamazian nasewin chimigwach kanodwian keepsinwian kinamayan now miigwech. And that word miigwech means thank you in our language. It means my spirit shares with your spirit in gratitude. It's what miigwech means. So the story begins in the beginning. There was only darkness. There was only blackness. Nothing existed in that great abyss of nothingness, but Creator God, we call Gajamanado, the Great Spirit. The Great Spirit said it's time that I would want to know myself and to dream myself into fruition. And the first thought of unconditional love by Creator God in that darkness and black abyss sounded like this. And what was created first was Nunse Wabo. Nunse Wabo is the water of the galaxies, the water of the universe, the water that created the planets and all the stars that we see in the sky. We know that in the center of this galaxy that we call the Milky Way is water. There's also water on the moon. So there is water in the outer space that we can detect. There's water on Mars. There's water on those stars that come and visit us on that we call comets that visit us on sometimes over the years, and they shine so brightly as they hit our atmosphere is because as the water melts, it causes it to shine even greater. So the first water of creation was Nunsi Wapo. The next thought of unconditional love by Creator God sounded like this. And what was created was Midday Wapo, spirit water. Spirit water is the water that made it possible for all life to begin, life as we know it. And Midday Wapo is this water that women are responsible for praying for in our ceremonies. And here's a copper vessel, and in the copper vessel we put the water in their copper vessel, and we pray for that water, that it will now and forever run clear and clean through the veins of our mother. May it now and forever bring life to all life and all sentient beings, now and forever onto 7 times 7 generations. And this is the water that we call Midday Wobble. Midday Wobble is also the water of the embryonic fluid that creates the babies that we hold in our wombs for 9 months. That's Midday Wobble. And you know when the baby's about to come, they always say, "Oh, my water has broken." So that's that sacred water of creation that creates that little baby and then when we give birth to our children, which is why that women among the native people and non-native people, we as women are responsible for the protection and continued health of that water, so it will now and forever bring life and creation to all life and all sentient beings. So, and that's the reason for that is because we as women are creators. The fact that we can carry life in our womb for 9 months and give birth to our children, our family, our communities, our nations. That's an important role that we play as women. And you'll say, well, what can I do? You in are in positions currently right now where you have influence over government, provincial, federal, municipal, for protection of water, and you have put in place many laws and policies, and you actually do work to protect that water. And I say thank you for that, miigwech. So that water goes in this copper vessel, and they say, well, why do we use copper? Because copper, each nation has their own nation, meaning continents. We live on the continent of we call Turtle Island. We call the continent of North America Turtle Island, and the metal, our sacred metal, is copper. And in South America, it's gold, actually. So we use a lot of copper in our ceremonies, particularly for water prayers and for our rattles, and also for divination. So it used to be, when we lived on the land, there used to be one person or one family clan that was responsible for looking after the copper in the village, and we could communicate spiritually with each other, spiritually with the land, and know where the best place is to go hunting and things like this. This is how we believe, and we still believe it to this day, and we still live in that way. The next sound of unconditional love by Creator God. Dodo Wabo. Dodo Wabo is the water of Mother Earth. We call her the mother. And the lakes, the rivers, the oceans, the water that falls from the sky, we call Gamiwan, is the life blood of Mother Earth. So this is her life. So her life, it's important that we continue to protect that water in our waterways and groundwater in particular, because my understanding is that only 3% of the water that we see is the actual water that's on the earth. And out of that 3%, 2% of it is salt water. The rest of it, and the other 0.5% is frozen, and the rest is in the lakes and the rivers, and the rest is underground. So it's so important that we protect groundwater in addition to. And we know it's a big, slow, very big, slow cycle from the groundwater to the ocean, for the rivers to the oceans, and it goes round and round over the millennium. But eventually we all have tasted and all have partaken into the same and drank the same water as somebody said to me, as the dinosaurs. So this is how ancient and how precious and how sacred water truly is. So it's our responsibility to promote the protection, promote the good way of looking after water, free of pollution, free of contamination, free of plastics, etc., etc. Because the elders are saying we're in a time of collective insanity, that we think very little of how important water truly is to us, and that we don't protect it as the priority of all life, because we can't grow our food without water. We can't live our life. We can't exist without water. If you go, say I asked you to go one solid day without drinking water from the moment you wake up in the morning until you wake up the following day, how does that make you feel? And it is uncomfortable, because we do sip water, and we do drink water in the form of pure water, but also like coffee and juice and tea and etc. soft drinks. It's all water based. And so to go and pollute that water is what they say collective insanity. So I admire the work that the conservation authorities do, and and their influence on provincial and municipal governments, ultimately the federal government. Incidentally, the reserves are the reserves in which we live on. I live in the reserve of Curve Lake. We're regulated not by province or municipality, but through the federal government. And we have been under, as Curve Lake, on a boil water advisory going on 20 years, that we can't freely drink the water that comes from our tap because it is contaminated. And the groundwater is contaminated because we live on a peninsula. It's located on a peninsula between two lakes. On the north side of our community is Buckhorn Lake. On the south side of our community is Chemong Lake. Fortunately, though, we've made so much noise to the government. In fact, we partnered with a couple other First Nations, and we took the federal government to court and said at that time it was 15 years boiled water advisory, and we said so as a result we are currently, as we speak, installing some pipes for our new water system that's going to be in operation probably this time next year. It takes that long to get all the pipes in the ground and all the connections to the houses and such. So we really appreciate that, and we're really happy for that. Yeah, thank you very much. And another thing that we were able to accomplish by that, we're not the only reserve in all of Canada that have these boil water advisories on a regular basis. So the government allocated $6 billion towards water health and for all the First Nation reserves across Canada. So that was based on the work that our chief from 5 years ago was able to accomplish, and I was part of that group that did that. Also, I think that what you'll say, well, like I do the work that I do with the conservation authorities. I try my best what I can do in my personal life to protect water and to appreciate water. And what else can I do? And the most profound and very effective way to work with water is to pray. Have a pray for water every day. And if you don't have a praying practice, but first thing in the morning, this is what our one elder told us how we should start our day with all of us usually have a cup of coffee or a glass of juice or a glass of water. Hold it in your left hand and you raise it 4 times like this, and say each time you raise it you say miigwech, 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 miigwech. And what that is just shows appreciation and gratitude for that water, because water, we believe, has a spirit. Water is alive. Water can hear us. And so in gratitude and in appreciation for water, it gives it that strength to be able to continue on and to clean itself. Water has a memory, and it can revert back to its original form, free of pesticides, free of pollution, free of chemicals, etc., etc. Just our appreciation for water and love of water. Because why would you want to harm something that you are in love with? So this everyday practice of showing gratitude and speaking gratitude to water is a way we can show how we can how we can love our water and how we can protect our water and continue to leave water in its original fresh, clean, perfect, sacred way for our children's children's children onto 7 generations. Because we think some of us, we tend to be very selfish people. We only think about our own lives and what we're only doing at this very, very moment in our existence. But to think about, if you have grandchildren, do you not want your grandchildren's children also to have clean, fresh water they could have access to anytime, and not having to only buy water at Walmart, or buy water at we have local places that sell water exclusively. So this is what we believe. And so the final thought of unconditional love by Creator God is the loudest and the happiest. And what was created was Misko Wabo. Misko Wabo. Misko Wabo means red water, the red liquid. And that is the water that's in our body. You know that we are 65, 70% made up of water. Our body is. So when we speak about water, when we speak about ourselves as individuals, always speak with a kind voice to ourselves. Always say only nice things and represent ourselves in a good way. Don't avoid saying negative things about yourself. Oh, I'm not smart enough. Oh, I'm too fat, or I'm not pretty enough or handsome enough, or oh, I'm an idiot. We have so many words that we can use against us. That diminishes our spirit. That weakens us as an individual. As soon as those words come into your mind, or spoken, always put a complete stop to that consciously. Stop that. Say, I'm a beautiful, smart, amazing, kind person. I'm a beautiful, smart, amazing, kind person. Say that to yourself 4 times and then go on. And this is how we can meet the challenges that we meet each and every day in our life. Because life as we know it is exciting. Life is not always easy, though. Like we experience illness and we experience death and challenges every day. But to speak only in a good, kind way about our own self, this gives us strength to meet those challenges that we need to be met each day in our life. So those 4 waters of creation that I shared with you today: Nunzi Wabo, Midday Wabo, Dodo Wabo, Misko Wabo. And I just appreciate that's the first part of the one of our creation stories. There's like 7 parts. That's the very first. We believe everything in this world was created by water first, and water is sustains all life as we know it, as we experience it. This is how precious, how sacred, how beautiful water truly is. And so I want to answer that one question, those 2 questions that were put there about. Can you put them up there, please, Trent?
Yep, 1 second.
And then I'll give an opportunity for people if they would like to ask me questions or have any clarifications.
Can you see that?
Right. Okay. So the question is, what are some of the difficulties faced by Indigenous peoples in finding a middle ground with waterfront property owners regarding cultural religious practices conducted in and around water bodies? Right. As not native and non-native people hold shoreline properties in the highest regard. In fact, we pay extra. We pay extra to live by the shoreline because of the beauty, the calmness that water brings to you, the feeling of being close to the water, when we want to swim into the water, we want to boat in the water, we want to be around water. And as Indigenous people, all our villages were always located at at the shorelines of different bodies of water. But it's said that we don't want to live on the water; we want to live by the water. So, for instance, one of the elders here I was told was telling me one time, just randomly, she was saying, she says, when Curve Lake was first settled, we didn't put our houses right on the shoreline. They were always inland quite a bit because of our activities, everyday life and activities of us affects the water. So you don't want to live too close to the water. As you know, how some of the cottagers, they really want to have of nice green lawns and you know other kinds of things. So and fertilizer from farmers and such. And so I just have to say, is when it comes to regarding access to from property owners for our culture and religious practices, we've been in the last I'd say 20 years, it's been a lot easier because people are not as threatened by Indigenous people in terms of who we are and what we represent. In fact, they they see that we are here as Indigenous people to protect the environment, to protect the water, and to share our lives and our practices with the general public. So they give us access when need be, and we include them in our ceremonies too. They don't have to be native to be to participate in our ceremonies.
Thank you, Dorothy. That was a very good answer. And thank you for your presentation and story as well. So there's one other question I'll get to next.
Okay. How best to support Indigenous communities to ensure they have their own technical and financial capacity to deliver safe drinking water for their communities, training, peer mentorship, succession planning. Right, right. So this is something that still needs a lot of work to be done. I would suggest that the conservation authorities approach their local First Nation communities through the band administrator first. There's always a CEO, a COO, or a band administrator that makes appointments, that makes appointments, that uh, advocates on behalf between chief and council and the administration. So contact your local First Nations and start working closely with them because we have our own way of interacting and working with water, and it's it's primarily on a spiritual level. So we believe in science, we believe in engineering, and we believe in the business model, but we also have I think the missing link when it comes to programming and access to safe drinking water is that spiritual access, that spiritual aspect of working with water, and that's what the Indigenous people can share with you. And we'd be more than happy and very supportive in taking part and developing and implementing any kind of safe drinking water training, peer mentorship, and succession planning. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So I next we're seeing if there's any questions from the chat. It's hard for me to quickly see that. Any of my colleagues, is there anything in the chat?
Thank you very much. It says, Dorothy, I'm grateful for sharing the water teachings and amazing, feel very amazing about your words. Appreciate that.
I don't think we have our poll working today.
Trent, there is one question that's come up in the chat.
Okay.
Where's some involvement of men in the blessing practices? So, you know, in Ojibwe teachings and culture, the women look after the water and the men look after the fire, and together we have the men's responsibility is the protection and the of the fire, and just know what fire teachings are. But because women are considered the creators, and we're considered the creators of the community, of the family, etc., and we pray for that water, which is the creation of all life, life to all life. That it's the men that needs to protect the integrity and the protection physically, spiritually of the women. So this is the reason why most times that women were not considered chiefs. They're chiefs now because we elect chiefs, but spiritually, culturally, it was men who were the chiefs in the past, and that's because if a mistake is made by the decision making of the women, women are the decision makers in our culture for the women, and the men are the implementers. So we say to the men, protect this water in this way, in this certain way. Um, don't put this in the water. Make sure this water is protected in this way. Uh, say we did it in the wrong way. A chemical went into that water based on our recommendation. Uh, that would kill or affect so much life. So it's the men that go forward to take our teachings, our decision making, uh, based on counsel. Uh, that we that's men's job is the protection of the decision making and protection of the creators. Okay.
I guess it
Then
looks like
here's
there's
another.
one more question.
Sure. It says I'm curious how water teachings and needs connect with aquatic life, fishing, and wildlife. Right. So uh, it's we have a lot of stories and a lot of teachings regarding the various animals and aquatic life and the aquatic and the fish and such that's in the water, how they were created and what their roles are. And but it's our activity as humans have changed the balance. So if the beaver and the otter or the fish, different fishes were allowed to uh, do their work as the original intention, we probably wouldn't have so much pollution and because it's us that are causing the imbalance in the water. And so even like for instance, the loon, when you hear the loon at night, uh, crying at the nighttime, their calls in the night. It's very beautiful, isn't it? And the elders say if you hear a loon that loon call during the day, it means it's going to rain. Rain is coming. Yeah, so they give you different. They give you different. You just have to be observant. You have to be have your ears open and your eyes to see what the animals, the fish, the plants are communicating with us. So they don't have language like we do, but we can feel and understand, and they can just by watching them you can see how they are. So I would say that uh, most of you have joined the conservation authorities because you have a connection with the natural world and you want to continue that, and I support that. And you know what I'm saying about watching creation already, and it gives you ideas and understanding.
Thank you, Dorothy. So again, Miigwech, Dorothy, we're very grateful to have you volunteering your time to share your wisdom and experience
So
with
it's my
us today.
pleasure.
Yeah, we recognize First Nations are underserved by our drinking water programs, but we're happy to at least give you a voice through our medium here. So,
Fantastic. There was one question about language.
yes, I see that.
Yeah, just go on the internet. There's lots of resources. The Ojibwe. You can type in Ojibwe language or Ojibwe alphabet, this kind of thing, and it'll come up.
Great.
Because we follow the Charles Fierro system, so it's different from. We use the regular alphabet, but we combine the different letters to make certain sounds for our language. Miigwech.
I do see one more question in the chat, and it says, can you tell us more about the Sacred Water Circle activities?
Oh, right, yeah. So in 2010, I made a call out to local Peterborough area and the local First Nations to come together to start doing the work as women, what we're supposed to do for the water. And so we wanted to get a direction from the elders from both South America and North America on what we could do as individuals, as nations, as community members to help with the situation with water that'll now and forever run clear and clean through the veins of our mother. May it now and forever bring life to all life and all sentient beings. So we worked in 2014 to bring some elders in from South America, the Kogi people. You should go online and type and do a Google search on about the Kogi, Kogi, and they came to our community here, and they gave us some tremendous teachings. Also, we had people from Northwest Territories, we had people from North Dakota and Manitoba, British Columbia. They all came, and I said, "Okay, what can you share with us?" And basically, they said, "You know, we already know what we're supposed to do. We already know. However, what needs to be worked on is our own self. Hold ourselves in highest regard, in a, and embrace ourselves with love and each other and kindness. And only then will we have the strength as a person of substance to be able to meet these challenges as we'll face them environmental uh, just difficulties or challenges that we will have as time goes on. So it's really important to keep doing what we're doing, but also be kind to yourself. Hold yourself in highest regard and never say anything negative about yourself. And teach your children this way too. It's not that you're going to be self-centered or you're going to just, like this kind of thing, but it's that you appreciate the life force that you were given. And we're all relatives in the circle of life. When I said Bojo Nindandognak, I said that means I greet you in a formal, kind way, my relatives. That's what I said to you in the language.
Okay, I think that's the last of our questions. So thank
Well, I
you
appreciate the
again.
questions a lot, and thank you very much for inviting me, and I really enjoyed spending the time with you today.
It was great to have you. And thank you everyone who asked questions in our chat there. So as I've had this screen up a bit for a
Oh, I
while
was
now.
going to say one more thing. I'm sorry
No,
about the
go ahead.
Sacred Water Circle. We have our website if you wanted to go. It's www.sacredwatercircle.ca. So you can see some of all the teachings that those elders shared with us. We recorded it. So those teachings are on there as well, if you'd like. to look.
Like Claire has put that link in the chat as well.
Oh, fabulous.
Put that there. Okay.
Sometimes what happens when you type in sacredwatercircle.ca, something else comes up, sacred water. That's not it. So make sure you type in the extra circle, the word circle, to bring it to the original website.
Good. Okay. Well, if no one else has any questions, like someone's asking about the recording. We'll hopefully can get that up. Where there was some a bit of a mix-up, so it may not be available. I think someone may have tried to screen record, so hopefully we can get a recording up. But if not, we apologize for that.
That's okay.
Yeah. So if anyone has any questions for any of our hosts, those links or emails are shown on the screen here. We are hoping to have a webinar on addressing kind of road salt concerns in the fall and winter, as well as kind of a general one about source protection and municipal drinking water kind of practices. So a little bit different from today's topic, but yeah. Well, miigwech again, Dorothy. It was great to hear from you.
Yeah, appreciate it very much. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks for all the good work that you all do.
Thank you.